أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير آمين يا رب العالمين.
In this lecture, we will study the status of fi'il mudare, which is fi'il in the present or future tense. And next, we will study the use of fi'il mudare mansub. Let us revise the literal meaning of the term mudare. Mudare's literal meaning is similar to, like, or comparable. We studied previously that mudare has similarities to ism in certain aspects. Let us revise what are the similarities of ism to mudare. Using this table of fi'il mudare, we will try to revise the similarities between ism and mudare. We have the following fi'il mudare table: yaf'ulu, yaf'ulani, yaf'uluna, taf'ulu, taf'ulani, yaf'ulna, taf'ulu, taf'ulani, taf'uluna, taf'ulina, taf'ulani, taf'ulna, af'ulu, naf'ulu. Within this table, the first similarity that we studied between ism and mudare was the following. Fi'il mudare indicating dual number ends with ani ending sound. Yaf'ulani, taf'ulani, taf'ulani, and taf'ulani. Please recall that in the case of fi'il mazi, that is fi'il in the past tense, the table did not have any cells with the ani ending sound. So in fi'il mudare, we have yaf'ulani, taf'ulani, 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 all ending with the ani ending sound and all indicating dual number. Similarly, in ism, we studied muslimun for singular and muslimani for dual. Kafirun, kafirani, yaf'ulu, yaf'ulani. Yaf'ulu, yaf'ulani is the mudare example. The second type of similarity between mudare and ism is as follows. Fi'il mudare indicating plural masculine will end with una ending sound. Once again, recall that in the case of fi'il mazi, we did not have any cell that ended with the una ending sound. So between fi'il mazi and fi'il mudare, una ending sound is only noted in the case of mudare. We have yaf'uluna and taf'uluna. In the case of ism, we had muslimun for singular, muslimani for dual, and muslimuna for plural and masculine. So in the case of muslimuna, we have the una ending sound. Similarly, we see una ending sound for plural and masculine in the case of mudare. The third similarity that we noticed was that of taf'ulina. Ina ending sound is also noted in ism. So up until this point, we have noticed three similarities between ism and mudare. One is that of ani ending sound in the case of dual category. The other is the una ending sound in the case of plural and masculine. And the final is the ina ending sound. Please note that fi'il mudare also has similarity to ism in regards to status or i'rab. Similar to ism, fi'il mudare also has a status. So we studied that ism has four characteristics: the capacity of ism, the number of ism, gender of ism, and the status of ism. So similar to ism, fi'il mudare also has a status or i'rab. Similar to ism, fi'il mudare also exists in three forms. So to summarize, fi'il mudare has another similarity to ism, and that is in regards to status. Similar to ism, fi'il mudare also has a status, and similar to ism, fi'il mudare also exists in three forms. Let us revise the three forms of ism. The status of ism or the i'rab of ism represents changes that occur at the end of the ism. In our lectures so far, we have studied that ism exists in three forms. The first form is called rafa or raf. The second form is called nasb or nasab. And the third form is called jar. An ism in its first form is called marfu. An ism in its second form is called mansub. And an ism in the third form or jar status is called majroor. Marfu, mansub, majroor, rafa, nasab, jar. At this time, we are very familiar with the three forms of ism. So just like ism has three forms, fi'il mudare also has three forms. Let us look at the three forms of fi'il mudare. So the three forms of ism are rafa, nasb, and jar. Ism in the first form is called marfu. Ism in the second form is called mansub. Ism in the third form is called majroor. Let us look at the three forms of fi'il mudare. The three forms of fi'il mudare are rafa, nasb, and jazm. So in this category, we clearly see a difference in terminology. For ism, we have rafa, nasb, and jar. And for fi'il mudare, we have rafa, nasb, and jazm. Fi'il mudare in its first form is called marfu. Fi'il mudare in the second form is called mansub. And fi'il mudare in the third form is called majzoom. So for ism, we have marfu, mansub, majroor. And for fi'il mudare, the three forms are marfu, mansub, and majzoom. So clearly over here we see another similarity between ism and fi'il mudare, and the similarities are as follows. Ism is found in three forms in regards to its status: rafa, nasab, and jar. Similarly, fi'il mudare also exists in three forms in regards to its status: rafa, nasab, and jazm. Ism in its first form is called marfu. Fi'il mudare in its first form is called marfu. Ism in its second form is called mansub. Fi'il mudare in its second form is also called mansub. Ism in its third form is called majroor. Fi'il mudare in its third form is called majzoom. Marfu, mansub, majroor. Marfu, mansub, majzoom. We can start by identifying the first form of fi'il mudare, or the rafa form of fi'il mudare. The tables of fi'il mudare that we have studied so far, they all represent fi'il mudare in the rafa form or marfu form of fi'il mudare. So we'll use the example of the table that starts with yazhabu, yazhabu, yazhabani, yazhabuna. Tazhabu, tazhabani, yazhabna. Tazhabu, tazhabani, tazhabuna, tazhabina, tazhabani, tazhabna. Azhabu and nazhabu. So this table that we have studied previously as well, this represents fi'il mudare in the rafa form. So all fi'il mudare in this table are marfu. So we've already started studying the three forms of fi'il mudare. The form that we have studied up until this point all represent fi'il mudare that are marfu. Next, we will study how fi'il mudare will appear in the mansub form. We will now start the study of fi'il mudare mansub, and we will study two basic things. First of all, we will study how fi'il mudare is written and read in its mansub form. In the previous slide, we studied that the tables of fi'il mudare that we have studied so far are the way that fi'il mudare would appear in the marfu form. So our next step will be to see how fi'il mudare is written and read in its mansub form. And then we will study the reasons for which fi'il mudare needs to be mansub. We will now study the steps that will help us read and write fi'il mudare in its mansub form. We will first start with our fi'il mudare table in the marfu form. Yazhabu, yazhabani, yazhabuna. Tazhabu, tazhabani, yazhabna. Tazhabu, tazhabani, tazhabuna, tazhabina, tazhabani, tazhabna. Azhabu, nazhabu. This table represents fi'il mudare in the marfu form. Our first step towards writing fi'il mudare in the mansub form will be as follows. First of all, we will need to rearrange this table into 3 rows. So this table is organized in a certain way. We will take this table and we will rearrange it into 3 rows according to a pattern. Row number 1 is yazhabu, tazhabu twice, azhabu and nazhabu. So we have yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabu, azhabu and nazhabu. We will take these 5 cells and arrange them into a horizontal row. If we pay attention, yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabu, azhabu and nazhabu are all read and written according to a pattern. Our next pattern will be in row number 2. We will take yazhabani, tazhabani, tazhabani, yazhabuna, tazhabuna and tazhabina from this table and we will organize them into row number 2. So we are taking all of the cells that are ending either in ani ending sound or una ending sound or ina ending sound. So our first row was comprised of cells that ended as yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabu, azhabu, and nazhabu. Our second row is comprised of cells that end with ani ending sound, such as yazhabani, tazhabani, tazhabani, tazhabani. Una ending sound, such as yazhabuna, tazhabuna, and ina ending sound, that is tazhabina. This leaves us with only 2 cells for row number 3, that is yazhabna and tazhabna. So our first step of making fi'il mudare mansub is that we have taken the fi'il mudare marfu table and we have rearranged them into 3 rows based on certain patterns. Let us now study step number 2. For our next step, we are going to focus on row number 1. We are going to take yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabu, azhabu, and nazhabu, and we are going to make some changes. We will take each case and we will replace the pesh at the end of yazhabu and we will replace it with a zabar. So yazhabu will become yazhaba, tazhabu will become tazhaba, tazhabu will become tazhaba, azhabu will become azhaba, and nazhabu will become nazhaba. So for our first row, the change that we are making to each cell is that we are replacing the pesh at the end of fi'il mudare and replacing it with zabar in order to make it mansub. So yazhabu, which is marfu form of fi'il mudare, will become yazhaba, which is mansub form of fi'il mudare. Tazhabu will become tazhaba, azhabu will become azhaba, nazhabu will become nazhaba. Nazhabu is marfu form of fi'il mudare, nazhaba is mansub. Azhabu is marfu, azhaba is mansub. Tazhabu is marfu, tazhaba is mansub. At this point, we have completed the conversion of row number 1 and we have the following results. Yazhaba, tazhaba, tazhaba, azhaba, and nazhaba. Now we will move our attention to row number 2. In row number 2, we have the following results. Yazhabani, which is fi'il mudare in marfu form, becomes yazhaba. Tazhabani, which is fi'il mudare in the marfu form, becomes tazhaba. Yazhabuna, which is fi'il mudare in the marfu form, becomes yazhabu. Tazhabuna, which is fi'il mudare in the marfu form, becomes tazhabu. And tazhabina, which is fi'il mudare in the marfu form, becomes tazhabi. Yazhaba, tazhaba, yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabi. If we pay further attention, the change that is happening is that we are removing the noon at the end of fi'il mudare marfu in order to make it mansub. Yazhabani is fi'il mudare marfu. We remove the noon at the end and we are left with yazhaba, which is fi'il mudare mansub. Tazhabani is fi'il mudare marfu. We remove the noon at the end and we are left with tazhaba. Tazhaba is fi'il mudare mansub. Yazhabuna is fi'il mudare marfu. We remove the noon at the end and we are left with yazhabu. And we know from previous study that yazhabu will be written as such with alif at the end. Tazhabuna is fi'il mudare marfu. And when we remove the noon at the end, we are left with tazhabu. Again, tazhabu will be written like this with alif at the end. Finally, tazhabina is fi'il mudare marfu. And when we remove the noon at the end, we are left with tazhabi. So our final results for row number 1 and row number 2 for fi'il mudare mansub are as follows. Yazhaba, tazhaba, tazhaba, azhaba, nazhaba, yazhaba, tazhaba, 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 yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabi. Finally, we will move on to row number 3 that has only 2 cells, yazhabna and tazhabna. The interesting and the easy factor about yazhabna and tazhabna is that both of these will be read and written the same in marfu form and mansub form. So yazhabna and tazhabna were written and read as such in the marfu table of fi'il mudare, and they will be written and read as yazhabna and tazhabna when fi'il mudare is mansub. So this is our final table of fi'il mudare mansub. We will revise it one more time. Yazhaba, tazhaba, tazhaba, azhaba, nazhaba. Yazhaba, tazhaba, 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 yazhabu, tazhabu, tazhabi. Yazhabna, tazhabna. At this point, we have studied how fi'il mudare is written and read in its mansub form. Next, we will look at the reasons for which fi'il mudare needs to be mansub. Please note that there are certain huruf that come before fi'il mudare, and these huruf make fi'il mudare mansub. Once again, there are certain huruf that come before fi'il mudare and they will make the fi'il mudare mansub. Inshallah, we will study these huruf in more detail. So now we will study the huruf that make fi'il mudare mansub. And the first of these huruf is the harf lan. Let us study some important aspects of this harf lan. Please note the following. First of all, fi'il mudare following lan will always be mansub. Second, lan will create strong negation in fi'il mudare. So fi'il mudare that comes after lan will have strong negation created in it because of the effect of lan. And finally, the harf lan will associate fi'il mudare with the future tense. So the important aspects of the harf lan are as follows. First of all, fi'il mudare will always come after this harf lan. Secondly, lan will create strong negation in fi'il mudare. And third, lan will associate fi'il mudare with the future tense. Let us study an example. Here we have the example of lan plus yazhabu. Please note that yazhabu is mudare marfu. It belongs to the fi'il mudare marfu table. Yazhabu can be translated as he goes or he will go. So for yazhabu, we know that it is marfu, and we know that it is either translated in the present tense or in the future tense. So let us see what will be the effect of adding lan to yazhabu. And we will have the following result. Lan plus yazhabu equals Lan yazhaba. Lan yazhaba can be translated as he will definitely not go, meaning that we are creating strong negation. Not only are we saying that he will not go, but we are saying he will definitely not go. So let us look at the effects of lan. First of all, lan is coming at the beginning and it is followed by fi'il mudare. This fi'il mudare is mansub. We are not saying yazhabu anymore, but we are saying yazhaba. Lan yazhaba. And secondly, because of the effect of lan, we are creating strong negation in the translation. We are not saying he will not go, but we are saying he will definitely not go. And finally, because of the effect of lan, we are associating the translation with the future tense. So the change that is happening is that yazhabu, with a pesh on it at the end, is being replaced by yazhaba, where now we have a zabar at the end. And when lan yazhaba is pronounced with the proper tajweed, we will pronounce it as lai yazhaba. We have an example from the Holy Quran in Surah number 2, ayah number 111, where we see the use of lai yadkhula. No one shall ever enter. So when we look at the translation of lai yadkhula, we are clearly seeing the association with the future tense. No one shall ever enter. And we also see strong negation. No one shall ever enter. And all of these are because of the effects of the harf lan. And the fi'il mudare that follows lan is mudare mansub. We don't see this written as lan yadkhulu, rather we see this written as lan yadkhula. Let us do some practice. Our first example is that of atruku. If we pay attention to atruku, we will notice that atruku is fail mudare marfu. Atruku comes from the mudare marfu table and it can be translated as I neglect or I leave in the present tense, or I will neglect or I will leave in the future tense. Let us take atruku and explore it further. Here we have atruku as-salah. Now we have atruku, which is fi'il mudare marfu, and please note that the fa'il is within this fi'il mudare. And as-salah is the maf'ul. And the translation is I neglect salah, or I will neglect salah, or I will leave salah. Now let us take atruku as-salah one step further, and we can add lan at the beginning. The result is lan atruka salah. We will notice immediately that by the addition of lan, atruku becomes atruka. Now, atruka is fail mudare mansub. Atruka is fail mudare mansub because it is preceded by lan. And lan will have the effect that it will make the fail mudare following it mansub. Atruka still is fail mudare. It still has the file, but it is no longer marfu, it is mansub. As-salah will remain as the maf'ul. The final effects will be noted in the translation. Now the translation will be I will not neglect salah, or I will certainly not leave salah. We are noticing two things here. First of all, now we are only translating in the future tense, and that is because of the effect of lan. And secondly, we are adding strong negation. And the strong negation is also there because of an effect of lan. So we are not just saying, I will not leave salah, but we are saying, I will certainly not leave salah. We have some additional examples here. Nasbiru. Nasbiru is fi'il mudari marfu. Nasbiru can be translated as we are patient, or we will be patient, or we will endure. The corresponding fi'il mudari mansub will be nasbira. Nasbiru is becoming nasbira. And nasbira is the way it is because of the effect of lan. So we clearly see that lan is being followed by fi'il mudari, and that fi'il mudari is mansub because of the effect of lan. So we have lan nasbira. This example is from Surah number 2, ayah number 61 of the Holy Quran. And the translation of this part of the ayah is, we will no longer endure one kind of food. So there is strong negation, and there is also the association with the future tense. And these are all because of the effects of lan. Next, we have akzibu. Akzibu is fi'il mudari marfu. Akzibu means I lie or I will lie. And if we add lan to akzibu, we will have lan akziba. This is fi'il mudari mansub. Akziba is mudari mansub because of the effect of lan. And the translation will be I will not lie or I will most certainly not lie. So because of the effect of lan, akzibu became akziba. The translation is in the future tense, and also we see strong negation. The next example is tadkhuluna. Tadkhuluna, because of the una ending sound, we should immediately think ism or fi'il mudari marfu. Tadkhuluna is fi'il mudari marfu. Tadkhuluna is referring to plural and masculine, and it can be translated as you enter or you will enter. Lan tadkhulu, because of the effect of lan, now we are not saying tadkhuluna, but we are saying tadkhulu. Because of the effect of lan, the noon at the end of tadkhuluna is removed, and we are left with tadkhulu. And tadkhulu will be written like this with the alif at the end. Lan tadkhulu, you will most certainly not enter. We have strong negation, and we have association with the future tense because of the effect of lan. Finally, tanaluna. Once again, we are noticing the una ending sound. This is fail mudari marfu. Tanaluna is referring to plural and masculine. Tanaluna can be translated as you achieve or you attain, or you will achieve, you will attain. An example of the addition of lan to tanaluna is seen in the Holy Quran in Surah number 3, ayah number 92. Lan tanalul birra, you shall not attain righteousness. In this example, we clearly see that because of the addition of lan, the fi'il mudare that follows it is fi'il mudare mansub. We will return to our table of the use of fi'il mudare either in the present tense or in the future tense. Fi'il mudari will only be used in the present tense if we have qad at the start of fi'il mudari, and we studied that qad is used to create emphasis in fi'il mudari. If we have lam of emphasis at the start of fi'il mudari, or if we have ma at the start of fi'il mudari. Fi'il mudari will only be used in the future tense if we have noon of emphasis at the end of fi'il mudari or noon saqila at the end of fi'il mudari, if we have seen with a zabar on it at the start of fi'il mudari, if we have sawfa at the start of fi'il mudari, and we just studied that if we have lan at the start of fi'il mudari, the lan will make the fi'il mudari mansub. It will associate the fi'il mudari with the future tense, and it will create strong negation. Finally, if we have la at the start of fi'il mudari, then that fi'il mudari can be used in the present tense, and it can also be used in the future tense.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.